My name is Dr. Waddell Brooks, Sr., your host, and this is Community Forum. We have a very exciting evening today. We have several distinguished guests from the village of Gurnee. To my left is Mayor Christina M. Kovarik, third-term mayor, village of Gurnee. And to her immediate left, Susie Curvilla, Executive Director, Gurnee Park District. And to her left is Lisa Shepard, 2013 Gurnee Days honoree, Executive Director of the Glen Cole Park District, former Gurnee Park District.
Yep.
She's then Superintendent of Recreation. And our anchor person is Donna Dallas, the Mayor's Assistant / Deputy Clerk, 2013 Gurnee Days President. And we're going to start off, ladies and gentlemen, for the Mayor, Kovarik, to tell our listening audience a little bit about her personal and professional background. This is for the people that don't know you, Mayor.
I can't imagine that anyone doesn't know me, but thank you for having me back. It's always delightful to join you on your show. I am a mother of 4. I've lived in Gurnee since 1991. I have 2 grandchildren.
Wow.
And by career, my profession is I've always been in mortgage banking. So I'm associated with the home industry and banking. And for the last 8.5 years, I have been the mayor of Gurnee, which is probably the most exciting and honorable thing I've ever done.
Mayor, what piqued your interest to get involved with politics?
My father was a World War II veteran,
Okay.
and he raised myself, my brother, and my sister, that we all have a duty to serve our country, and serving is not necessarily just military service, that when you choose to run, as an elected official, you are serving your country. That's what makes democracy work, so that we all need to take a turn. So I was interested in running. At the time, before I was mayor, I was a trustee.
Oh, okay.
So I had my learning curve and got my feet wet, and thought I could do a better job when I announced my run for mayor. And the people of Gurnee believed me and trusted me with the honor of winning election, and I just keep on winning. And I work hard.
Okay, this is very important.
I work hard. Yeah, I work hard to earn it.
This was not your first involvement in politics, because were you a campaign manager for your predecessor?
Basically in name only. He needed. I had goodwill in the community. And so, yeah, I did help on the previous campaign of my predecessor, who I was disappointed in his leadership style, which is one of the reasons why I chose to run.
You know, at one time, the female mayor was the glass ceiling, I guess, in Lake County. But you have quite a few female mayors in Lake County now, right?
Yes, there is. Lindenhurst. Oh, wow.
You had Libertyville
Yeah,
at one time.
No, Libertyville, no. I'm drawing a blank. I know there was one in Antioch.
Mundelein used to be.
Mundelein used to be.
Yeah.
Okay.
And Lake Zurich used to be. I think some of the women have dropped out, but I know there are a few. I don't know whether it's Highland Park or Deerfield or whatever. There's still a few women.
Still a few
Yeah.
can handle it. Well, is it a full-time or part-time position for you?
Well, it's part-time in theory. The village does have a full-time village administrator who is highly trained and quite skilled, and he runs the day-to-day operations 24/7. So the mayor's position is primarily part-time, but Gurnee's gotten to be quite a big community.
Okay.
So I would say I put in probably almost full-time hours anymore.
You know, what caused the growth of the village of Gurnee?
Land availability back in the late 80s to early 90s, housing, there's sprawl, and so developers discovered that there was affordable land up here, and they could build affordable homes. There was a big demand. So yeah, pretty well like quadrupled almost overnight from the late 80s into the 90s. but we haven't had much growth since then from a residential perspective.
You know, another thing that caused growth is a good park district.
Yes.
So you're to your left, Susie Curry-Villa
Yes.
is the executive director of the Gurnee Park District. Susie, I'm going to allow you the same opportunity that I allowed the mayor to tell our listening audience a little bit about your personal and professional background.
Well, I would love to. I was born and brought up in India.
Okay.
I moved to the United States in 1984. And when I moved from India to the United States, actually I settled in Gurnee from the beginning. So I have had the privilege of seeing Gurnee grow, and to be a part of that, it is truly a privilege. And personally, I have 3 children, and I'm married to my husband, and we live in Gurnee, and it's nice to be able to be the executive director in a community where you live. So I enjoy that as well. So it's been a privilege for me to be a public servant or serve in the public as the executive director for the past 7 years.
Well, tell us about some of the challenging experiences that you've had since you've been executive director.
Well, I try to view my challenges as opportunities.
Okay.
So when you're dealing with a organization of about 450 employees, there's
Wow.
always going to be challenges.
Right.
We're dealing with a $13 million budget. When I first started in Gurnee, which was in 1997, I started as the superintendent of business, and that's where Lisa and I actually worked together
Okay.
for quite a number of years.
Oh, 7 or 8 years, yeah.
7 years as together, and then at that time, the finances of the park district wasn't as strong as it is today, so we were able to, and we were a lot smaller back then, so I have seen a lot of growth. Actually, together we have seen a lot of growth in the park district, and that's been really rewarding as well. Went through a lot of challenges, but we always looked at challenges as opportunities, and that has really made us grow into a very, very solid organization.
Yeah, this causes a city to grow too, because one of the first things that prospective citizens look at your cities, your park, and also your schools.
Yes.
And evidently you haven't. What caused all that growth in the park district?
Well-
I know I could answer the question by talking with, listen to you, you're thinking out of the box, you know.
Well, as the mayor mentioned earlier, in 1990s we saw much growth in Gurnee.
Okay.
And a lot of the housing development happened during that period of time, and the park district has to get caught up with offering services to the residents who moved into town during that period of time. So we have increased our number of parks. We have a park that is strategically located in most of the neighborhood areas. We have 28 park sites and 23 playgrounds.
Wow.
And we maintain over 400 acres of land. And a good portion of that, I would say more than 50% of that, was developed after the 1990s housing boom. So we've been able to keep up with it. And I would tell you that, you mentioned about the park district being a deciding factor for people when they are moving into a town. I know a few people personally who have told me that the park district is the reason why they moved into Gurnee, because it is very important for them. We offer the parks and playgrounds, and at the same time we have a wide variety of recreation programs that we offer as well. And people very much enjoy coming to the park district for those programs. So we've been highly successful in serving our community through the parks and programs that we offer.
Now, was your training, your background in the park area, or did you just get on-the-job training?
Actually, my background is very interesting because I had my bachelor's degree from India, and my
Okay.
father wanted me to be a doctor.
Ah.
So I actually went into college for science, and I came to the United States, and I was always very much interested in math. I did not want to be a doctor, but I didn't want to break my dad's heart, so I went into that.
Right.
So I changed my career into accounting, and I
Okay.
have a CPA.
Ah.
And I entered the park district in 1997 as the superintendent of business. So I was in charge of the finances at that time. I worked at that capacity for 9 years. And when I entered the Park District world, it took me, I kind of accidentally came into the Park District world, but it did not take me long to realize that that is where I want to be. And I've been happy ever since.
Fantastic. Well, Lisa Shepherd, you're the executive director of the Glencoe Park District.
Correct.
But before we do that, I'd like for you to have the same opportunity
Sure.
that the other two had. Tell our listening audience a little bit about Lisa Shepherd.
All right. Well, I lived in Gurnee about 20 years now. I used to actually commute. I started out at the Rolling Meadows Park District and lived in Wildwood and would commute
Okay.
to Rolling Meadows. And then Gurnee job came up, and I'm like, oh, what a great opportunity and a great community. So 15 years ago, I started as the superintendent of recreation at the Gurnee Park District.
Okay.
So that's how I came into the role there. I have a wonderful daughter, Taylor, who's off at Ball State now.
Okay.
And that's my family, my two, as we say, my two animals, two dogs also. But I have a very big extended family. I grew up on a farm in Long Grove and had a lot of siblings, but I didn't have a lot of interaction with park districts at the time. Growing up, we were in the middle of nowhere and we didn't have a park district, and it was almost double the fees to participate in programs. So I think I was very athletic. I played a lot of sports in school, and I always knew that there was a need for recreation opportunities for everyone in the community. And I think I was in college and someone said, you should come work at the park district. I'm like, what's a park district? Really, that's how it was.
Right.
I stumbled into it and went into the office and I said, what are you doing? She's like, oh, this is the park and recreation profession. It's a mixture of business and recreation. And I said, you get paid for this?
Right.
And so from that moment on, I fell in love with the industry because it mixed a lot of things that I'm passionate about. Teaching and business and recreation and community involvement all into a nice package. So that's how I really got involved in the park and recreation field. So.
And you loved it so well that you decided to leave. I know there were teary eyes when you left and went to the Glencoe, I guess.
I did. I went to the Glencoe Park District about 6 months ago. It's been about 6 months, right?
Yeah.
She's
February,
still not done crying.
That's
Yeah,
right.
she's very sad. No, it was just, I love Gurnee, and it has, and I still live in Gurnee. It has a big place in my heart.
Okay.
But, it's always nice to do the next challenge. I felt I did a lot. In 15 years I was there, we had tremendous growth, and I felt I did so much. But I needed that next opportunity to do the next level in a park district. So.
We have here women highlighting Gurnee.
Yes.
Is this what we can look forward to in Gurnee? Is women highlighting mayor?
I think so. Women, especially with all of us up here, by nature we're more nurturing and more collaborative. Susie and I spend, we have lunch together, we have dinners with some of our peers and stuff, and we want to solve things. We want to get along. So if one of us has a problem, we all have a problem, and we all sit down and we talk about it. And that's just the way women approach things. It's not the territorial, type approach that you see, especially, you see what's going on at the federal and state level. And everybody walks in wanting to fight. Women just don't. Some, but most women will walk in and say, all right, we've got a problem, how are we going to solve this? Yeah. We're just collaborative. Yeah. So, we have a woman superintendent of the high school, we have a woman superintendent of Woodland, and we have a woman township supervisor.
Yes.
So I think that's contributed to the success of Gurnee, is we're very driven. We're driven to achieve more, and we know how to pull teams together and get people all rowing in the same direction at the same time.
Well, I guess this is what happened in 1920, I guess, and
Yes, it's the 100-year anniversary of women getting the right to
That
vote.
is
it was
true.
a slow
That is
process, and I think someone knew what they were doing.
I think so. I think so.
Say, well, look at all the talent that we're missing here.
Yeah.
So we, women's suffrage, 1920, and August 26th, I think. I remember exactly
Yeah,
that
it was just
happened.
recent.
Yeah.
It was just recent at the
That's
100-year
interesting.
anniversary. So.
Our Rotary International experienced the same thing. It's only men belong to Rotary. I think You're a member of the Rotary Club, too.
I attend a few events, but I'm not a member.
Yeah. But you have a representative there, though. But I think 1987, Supreme Court said, admit women. To start in California, someone filed suit. And you know what? The greatest growth in Rotary has been because of women have been. And they have taken leading roles, too, you know. So
there's a time and a place for the way men lead. And there's courage and muscle and grit involved in that, but there's also opportunities for collaboration and you know, nurturing. So takes both.
And another person has added to the growth there, and the mayor that you can put everything on her shoulders. Donna Dallas, our anchor person, she's your assistant, and also deputy clerk, dual role there. So. Donna, I'm going to afford you the same opportunity, and as I afford the other three, tell our listening audience a little bit about your personal and professional background.
Well, what's unique about me is that I was born and raised in North Chicago.
Hey!
I actually live in Waukegan, but I'm an employee of the village of Gurnee, so that's kind of like a triple threat there. I know a little bit of everybody, every place. And as I said, I've lived in this area my entire life. I graduated from North Chicago High School and then furthered my education from there. I have one 30-year-old son.
Wow.
And happy to say that my mom is still alive. And my life, that's my life. I do a lot of activities in the community. I'm pretty well known. Everybody knows who Donna Dallas is. But I get my most fulfillment out of helping others. And that's what I do best.
Well, I have to ask, since you mentioned that, the things that you do for yourself are gone when you're gone. But the things that you do for others remain as your legacy.
True.
So your legacy remains.
That's true.
Tell about this. Your mother, you mentioned, had a birthday recently. She's
my mother, Jessie Patterson, is 85 years old.
85.
Yeah, she'll be 86 in December.
Wow, and she was a speaker too.
My mother actually was the Women's Day speaker at First Corinthian in North Chicago, and she did an awesome, awesome job. I'm just really proud of her, and I'm proud to be her daughter, really. She did a good job.
But 30-year-old, you're not over 30 yourself?
I know. I've been 29 for a long time.
So have I.
But
we're
I
all
do
the
have a
same age
30-year-old
here.
son, Lance.
Donna, what is a typical day, if there's any, at Village of Gurnee?
There actually is not a typical day at the Village Hall. Every day since I've been there, which is almost 8 years, I learn something new, meet someone new every day. Working for a village is the first public job I've ever had. I've always worked in the corporate world, and working in a public job, you really get a hands-on-hands experience with the customers who are the residents and the people that come to our village. So a lot of problem solving, a lot of answering questions on the phone. You just have to know a little bit about everything and everyone. But the most fulfillment I get is in helping people that need help and directing them to who they need to talk to. And if I don't know the answer, I always know who to direct them to.
And I may say too, though, that you have shown great leadership. You're the president of the Gurnee Days, right?
Yes, I was. That was a great challenge, but the result was amazing. We had an awesome Gurnee Days this year, and I worked with a great team of people and could not have done this without them.
Yeah, how was that organized? You have, it's one of the largest, I guess, my wife and I attended the banquet, that was almost at the end of the
Well, actually, the banquet kicks off Gurnee Days. Gurnee Days is in its 41st year, and the banquet kind of kicks off Gurnee Days, where we honor our honoree, who was Lisa Shepard. And the Gurnee Days Corporation is made up of about 30 to 32 different committees, each committee headed by someone. And the people that work on the Gurnee Days committee have a real passion for the village. That is one of the most passionate things that they do, and they really want it to work, and it has worked extremely well for the past 41 years, actually.
Wow.
So,
Mayor, Donna mentioned about Lisa Shepard as being the Gurnee Days honoree. Tell us about Lisa Shepard, the reason she was selected as Gurnee Days honoree.
Well, the Gurnee Days Corporation puts out a call in the community for nominations. The nomination is someone who's been in the community for at least 10 years and has had an immense influence for doing good or promoting the community or just good works, whether it's in recreation or their church, community service, things like that. So then there's a committee within Gurnee Days that reads the nominations and they select one. And we like to make a big deal because as in Lisa's case, Lisa's between her service at the Park District, but when she was not working at the Park District after hours, she coached so many different youth activities, which is really giving of yourself to take on, whether it's a girls' basketball team or a boys' soccer team. I mean, that takes a lot to give back and do all that. Lisa also served on Healthy Communities, Healthy Youth, which is a not-for-profit organization in Gurnee that sponsors different activities to help make sure that our kids have the right assets and are exposed to the right values so they grow up to be caring, competent, responsible adults. So Lisa's just not just through the Park District, I mean just outside the Park District. Right. She just gave a lot to the community, and it's a nice way for us to show our appreciation for her community service.
Lisa, when you were selected, how did you feel?
Oh, overwhelmed is probably right. Is that the
Yeah, you were.
I was surprised and overwhelmed. There's so many amazing volunteers in Gurnee. Gurnee is really blessed with that. There's so many people that give so much of their time. Okay. So when I was chosen, I was like, no, I'm not worthy. There's so many great people. So it was an incredible honor to be selected.
Also, it was mentioned that you love your love of youth. But tell them why you.
You know what? I just you get so much energy from youth. There's so much promise, and I think the time that you can influence someone's life is when they're, growing and shaping them as individuals. So I think there's just so much opportunity, and I get so much back from them. The youth in the community, whether it's when coaching or the Park District or wherever, volunteering. I volunteer with a lot of youth. They're so much fun, and they put your life in perspective, and they teach you a lot of lessons and keep you humble. Believe me, they keep you humble. I mean, I get so much more out of it than I ever give when I volunteer with youth.
Well, this is fantastic. I noticed at the banquet, though, I thought the evening would never end. We have so many people, acknowledging Lisa Shepard.
Well,
boy, I tell you what, if I didn't know Lisa Shepard then, I really knew her. But tell us about your reception of the comments that were made about you.
Oh, boy.
Did you recognize yourself?
Oh, no. Some of I did. Some I wish they wouldn't have said. It was very flattering. I mean, it's nice to see, very humbling to see how people see you through, how they see you. I always say I just volunteer because it's the right thing to do, and I really enjoy it, and I never do it for any accolades, So to hear some of the comments that people said about me, it was very, very humbling.
Yeah, this is fantastic, and I know that I really enjoyed that hearing people come in and say, "Is this a live person?"
I think I was the youngest Gurnee Days.
Yeah. I think that is another requirement. The Gurnee Days honoree has to be alive.
That is one. That is.
It is. Yeah, because they ride in a parade. The grand marshal.
Kind of hard
now,
to do that otherwise.
the two park districts now. Tell us about your adjustment to your new position.
Oh, my adjustment. Gurnee, when I started in Gurnee 15 years ago, it was a very small district. Okay. I think we had, one preschool classroom?
Yeah.
Now we have 9, right? 9, 6, 7, 8. Eight. We had a dance program of 20 kids, and now it's up to 250. So we were very small when I started, and we grew, through the course of the years into a very large park district. So Glencoe was a very established park district. It's been actually one of the oldest park districts in Illinois, 100 years, but a smaller community. So less facilities and less activities. So the adjustment was going back from a large park district to a smaller park district. And so that's probably that was the biggest adjustment this year.
Donna, you mentioned the banquet was the kickoff for the Gurnee days, you know. But tell us about some of the activities.
We had.
Did it go on for a week or just a certain?
It actually starts on Thursday and it ends with the parade on Sunday.
Okay.
So we have a series of events available each day from like noon until 9 at night. All kind of activities for kids, adults. Everything is very family oriented. We have like so many things. Whatever you want is going on all day.
True.
Yeah.
True.
So there was a lot of activities going on.
Tell us about some of the activities in the Park District.
Things that are going on now,
because
or
it's not a typical day.
no, there's never a typical day. But I do want to say something about Lisa being the honoree, though.
Okay,
Because we were-
continuation.
Yes, I would like to continue because I think she's been involved with so many things, and I think the fact that she is single allows her to do that.
Okay.
Yes. Okay.
That's right.
Already then.
Right.
But going back to the
true.
Park District, there's a lot of programs that we do. We just had our camp program end, and we had 1,600 campers. We had them for a 9-week period of time, and to be able to handle that many children in safely and making them happy at all times, it is a challenge, and it's a lot of fun. And that's one of the specialties of my job, and I sometimes say that I'm a CPA, and most CPA, when they're not having this much fun. I'm having a lot of fun.
Right.
Having a lot of fun. I'm one of the CPAs having the most fun is what I usually say. So it's a lot of different things that we offer to the community, a wide variety of programs. Half of our operation is the recreation programs, while the other half of it is taking care of the infrastructure, such as parks and buildings and things of that nature.
I mentioned thinking out of the box, which make you successful and also the Gurnee Park District successful too. But Lisa is single; she doesn't have to go home and burden her husband with all the things that gone on in the Park District.
My poor dogs.
They just listen. They just listen.
Talk back like that.
But with you and the CPA, you have to keep updated on your CPA. But what about the Park District? Do you have training programs and things you have to update yourself with?
Oh, definitely. I'm also a certified park and recreation professional, a
Okay.
CPRP.
Okay.
And yes, there's continuing education that I need to go through, and our staff, we offer a wide variety of training programs, specialized training for their job, and also motivational training, and we offer in-house training. We also send them to organizations that offer training, such as the Illinois Association of Park Districts, Illinois Park and Recreation Association. So they are given plenty of opportunities to be trained, because one of the things that we truly, truly believe in is making our employees grow, seeing them flourish and move on to better careers. Like Lisa is a perfect example that she was the superintendent of recreation. Now she's an executive director at a different park district. We're happy, we're sad to see her go, but at the same time we're happy for her and proud of her to see that she has accomplished her dream of becoming an executive director. So we try to do that with all of our staff, keep them motivated, because we benefit them from that, and the community benefits from that as well.
Now I see why there's no typical day.
No, there's no
Gurnee
typical
Park
day.
There's
District.
no typical day.
No.
But Mayor, in addition to your activities, you have a trustee board.
Yes. So the
And-
Village of Gurnee is served by 6 trustees,
Okay.
elected at large,
Okay.
and it's split up. So every 2 years, 3 trustees are up for re-election or up for election.
Okay.
So it's designed that way across Illinois, so you never have a brand new board of all rookies at the same time, because there is quite a bit of a learning curve to being an elected official, and all the rules and the protocols, and you're dealing with a lot of things most people have never had to deal with when you get elected. So, and then the mayor's position is every 4 years.
You have a lot of training takes place too, though.
Yeah, there's mandatory training that we have to go through on Open Meetings Act, Freedom of Information Act, and there's leadership classes that are available, and there's some education courses on zoning and things like that. The trustees are basically a legislative body,
Okay.
So they set policy and appropriate money.
Okay.
And then my job is the executive branch, per se.
Okay.
So whatever the trustees decide for policy or appropriation, then it's my job to make sure it's implemented, carried out, and we deliver services each day. So the executive position is a different skill set than policy setting.
What do you do? Hold your breath when election comes around and hope that.
You know, no, I haven't. I'm very proud to run on my record. I'm very goal-oriented, very to-do list driven. So, you know, if I say I'm going to do it, I get it done. And
evidently you have.
Yeah, and I've been very accessible. I make sure I, as I say, get out of the ivory tower. As if I was only in Village Hall, you'd get one kind of perception of what's going on. But when I get out in the community and I meet with regular people and I hear what's going on, it makes a huge difference. And like Lisa said, you know, I enjoy doing school events or park district events because the kids just, you know, their energy just comes through and it drives you even to do more. You want to get more accomplished because it's really their future that you're planning for. So yeah, I kind of feed off my residents and I feed off my businesses. They keep me going.
When I mentioned like 3 trustees are elected each.
Every 2 years.
Every 2 years, right? So that's what I meant by holding your breath and hoping that you get the trustees elected that's going to continue with your program, you know.
Yeah, but a program, you know, no matter who gets elected, if I can't articulate my program, if I can't explain it, if I can't say here's the business case and here's why, you know, yes, you get opposition, but sometimes you need opposition because it makes you think. You know, you might have to adjust the sails a little bit, and a lot of times you come up with an even better idea than you had all by yourself. So I don't tend to hold my breath. The people running, I usually know or I get to know. And I have very, very smart residents, and they make good choices in the voting booth.
And Mayor, you're a public relations person for the city, right? You're
I'm the face of Gurnee.
Right.
And that is really like the biggest part of my job. I have a fabulous team behind me. You know, great department heads and a great leader in my village administrator who really do handle the day-to-day operations. When it gets to me, it's pretty bad. You know, so and this is the way I like to describe it, I kind of steer the boat and I let them row the boat. But the demands are, you know, residents who want to meet with you. You know, people want you to attend events. Developers want to meet with you. People have complaints or they want to tell you something good. So without Donna, I could not be mayor. Donna has the hardest job. I really just have to show up and smile and talk. But Donna has to coordinate the calendar. And she has to coordinate that calendar between my work schedule, which does involve business travel, and meetings and things like that. And then she's got to kind of work around my personal schedule because I do have a family and children and grandchildren.
Well.
So she has to coordinate all that. She also answers the mayor's phone, which gets a lot of phone calls, and she, you know, a lot of people when they're calling the mayor, they're generally not always happy. So she's got great empathetic skills and knows exactly how to calm people down and direct them to the right place right away. So again, if I need to return that phone call, it's pretty serious. Correspondences. People think it's amazing. I send nice letters and all this. It's Donna. So when you know, they say the power behind the throne, it's Donna. I mean, and seriously, if you ever walk into the mayor's office, all my folders are color-coded. Everything's neatly filed. I know exactly which folder I need to go to right away. Which one, you know, I know what the red one means. I know what the green one means. I know what so, you know, I could not be mayor without somebody to keep me organized. So I have to run very fast, and she does it. So.
Well, it shows that you think out of the box too, because Donna was one of, to be selected, one of 70 people.
Yeah,
that
we had a lot of people apply
to
be the administrative assistant to support not only the mayor's office, but the village administrator and administration in general. A lot of candidates, but you know, I was just saying to somebody earlier today, one of the other things I learned from my father, big influence in my life, was always hire character, train skill. And Donna had the character. you can never go wrong when you hire somebody with good character, good personality.
Sure.
I knew she could learn the rest of it. And she actually teaches me some stuff too.
Donna, in addition to character, you have a Christian background too. You have an outstanding pastor, and I'm sure he's another mayor too, because he's a fantastic person.
Yep, I'm a lifelong member of First Corinthian in North Chicago. My pastor is Eugene Roberson, who's actually a Gurnee resident.
Ah.
I actually serve as his secretary, and I sing in the choir. I do a lot in my church and help out wherever I can.
Another thing about your pastor too, there was a street named after him.
Yes,
Street.
Reverend Eugene Roberson Drive was named about a year and a half ago.
Right.
Yep.
This is fantastic.
Nice.
How does church play a role in your life?
My life?
Yes.
Oh, I'm glad that you asked. I am really glad that you asked because I am a Christian and I'm very proud to be a Christian.
Okay.
I grew up in a Christian family. My dad is a pastor.
Oh.
Yes,
wow.
and he's in charge of a lot of churches in India. And so I grew up as a pastor's daughter. So it's just kind of like sometimes I feel that was good training for me to work in a public sector. A lot of the discipline that I learned from early on has come in handy. And also a lot of the leadership skills that my dad has applied, I have learned from that as well. So as a leader of the Park District, I oftentimes use my Christian values as my foundation to lead, and that has made me very successful.
Fantastic. Well, at least I can't forget you too. You know, Christians play such a major role in the other three here, and I have to get to the mirror too. I can see it all over you. But at least to tell how the influence of Christianity in your life.
Yeah, I'm a member of St. Paul the Apostles Catholic Church in Gurnee, and I went to Carmel in Mundelein as my high school, and so that's obviously faith is a very big part of my life, and we're very active. And I taught religious ed for about 4 or 5 years, and my daughter sang in the choir, not me. They didn't want me. They said no. But, obviously that's a very big part of my life too.
Okay, And Mary, I had started off a few years ago, maybe, I don't know, 8 years ago, started coming to your city council meetings, and
you helped me when I was having trouble.
And I was shocked. The mayor called me and said, "Can you give me any help?" I didn't know how the mayor found out about me. This was before Donna was into there. So I came out and I really enjoyed it. You've been a friend ever since.
Yeah, I know. Isn't it amazing how that happens? And I don't remember who suggested that I get in touch with you, but I was just getting slammed from every side.
That's God working in
God
mysterious ways.
God works in mysterious ways. But
and your affirmative action program, you still have it going?
It moves much slower than we would like, but we are starting to we're getting to that point where a lot of our long-term employees are becoming eligible for retirement. So we've had, when we do open up our lists, we have to update our civil service list for police, fire, and public works every 2 years. Our HR director has suggestions from you and elsewhere. We have reached out to new places to advertise that we're doing the testing and that for those positions. So we have a much better, a more diverse pool of candidates than we've had in the past. We're still not getting a lot of them onto the list. That's kind of the next step. But I have a much more diverse civil service commission than I've ever had before, which I think they're coming up with ideas and changing the interview process and making suggestions on the testing process. So we will get results. It just takes a long time. There's not a lot of turnover with public employees. Once they're hired, they're good positions and they tend to stay for 20 years. Most of our employees were hired in the 90s when we were growing. So, but we're getting there. I think we're set up, the foundation's in place now, because I would like our employees to reflect the community, the makeup of the community. I think all of us strive for that. I know the schools have struggled with it too, and they've been trying to do outreach. And it just starts, you got to start young, recruiting people. you know, not everybody's thinking about going into careers with public service, you know, you know, and this is kind of sad, you know, even for myself. I was raised that being a politician was an honorable thing. You're serving your country. You know, watching what you see on TV, I don't know that anybody thinks it's honorable anymore. I mean, you know, people meet me and they're a politician and they instantly, you know, kind of lump me in. And I think the same with police and fire, because on the news, the media tends to focus on the negatives.
Right. This is what they sell news for.
It sells newspapers. And I can tell you as a mayor, if I only focused on the negatives that happen in the village, because we have a few, I mean, it happens, we make mistakes, it would be really depressing. So, I mean, I consciously every night go through all the hundreds of positive things we got done that day, that my team, my police, my fire, my public works, my community development, all the good things we got done that day, and I push away, you know, the few negatives. But if you're watching the news, you don't hear that. All you hear is negative anymore. So people, young boys, young women are not growing up saying, "Oh, I want to be a policeman. And I want to be a fireman." So we have to change some of that, and that's a whole different ball game than just testing and that. So
the form of government that you have is different from Waukegan, North Chicago, and the surrounding areas.
Well, the majority of the communities in Lake County have a mayor with a village administrator, so a part-time mayor, a board of trustees, and then a full-time village administrator. North Chicago and Waukegan are full-time mayor. The mayor actually manages the day-to-day, and it's a full-time job. So that is a little different, but they still have a governing board. They also, their boards, their trustees or aldermen as they're called, are not at large like they are in my community. My trustees represent everybody. In North Chicago and Waukegan, an alderman only represents a certain portion of the community. They're elected by wards, similar to Chicago.
I think Zion has one too, that their commissioners are responsible for certain areas.
Yeah, I think there's wards, and I don't remember if Mayor Harrison is full-time or not.
You know, since you mentioned that, he was full-time, part-time while he was the teacher. Remember that he retired and became full-time.
I wouldn't advocate for that in Gurnee. I mean, when you're dealing with people's water and sewage and public safety issues and snow plowing, I mean, there's a definite education level, knowledge level, skill set that you need for that. I don't think anybody wants me monkeying with their water. So I leave that to the experts. Hire the best and let them do their job.
Well, Lisa's going to tell us about duties and responsibilities of her position there, and so we learn more about Glencoe.
You want to learn more about Glencoe, huh? In Cook County.
Different from Gurnee.
My position is very similar to Susie's. You know, I handle the administrative aspects of the district, so I have a great team under me, just like Susie does. You know, recreation and finance and parks, and you know, they're educated. They all go to school in the field of Park and Rec, so they get a degree in that, and they bring those skill sets to the district to help us develop programs and parks and things like that. So, you know, I just oversee and administrate of all that.
I like to let the public know this wasn't designed to have all women in from Village of Gurnee on the program. It just worked out that way, you know.
Yeah, we have very good men in Gurnee. We do. We have a great library director. We have District 56 as a male superintendent. Yeah, we have great male leadership too. We have
we do.
So. But the women stepped up and came on the TV show.
Yeah, exactly. That's it.
Well, you're greatly welcome. I'm sure my ratings are going up. Well, what about leisure time activities? We might as well start with you, man. What are you doing at leisure time?
What leisure time?
You take vacation once in a while.
I organize my to-do list on Sundays.
Funny.
I like to read. I do enjoy reading. So the iPad, my kids got me an iPad probably 3 or 4 years ago, and I thought, oh my God, what do I need another device for? And then once I discovered books, So I always have 3 or 4 books. And then just like last week, I went into the library and they showed me how I can check out books electronically and download them on my iPad. So now I don't have to pay $15 for them anymore. So you pay $15 and then when you're done reading, you got to delete it. So now I can check out books from the library. So I usually have 3 or 4 books, light stuff, because I have to do a lot of heavy duty reading. I do a lot of reading in the evenings for the village, trying to research best practices and stuff. I also play Words with Friends.
Do you? Are you one of those?
So that's kind of my veg out. I got 5 minutes. I need to decompress and turn it off. So I'll play Words with Friends. I love to dance. So I don't get to see Dancing with the Stars because it's on Monday night when we have our board meeting, but I can watch it online and stuff. But I've danced for years.
Okay.
And I have 2 grandchildren now. So they are the absolutely joy of my life. Nothing better than being a grandma.
Great.
I bet.
Yes.
I can wait for a while.
You can wait, right? Yeah. My oldest is 28, so yeah, it was. She'd been married 5 years. I was like,
Come on.
let's go.
I have two grandkids too, but my youngest is just started Howard University.
Oh.
And I thought when she received a $90,000 scholarship, then I wouldn't have to help my son as much. But you should see the fees, and this is $90,000 over 4 years.
Oh, yeah.
So I still have to contribute. So starting now, I advise everybody starting now, save your pennies for the grandkids.
Grandkids,
It is something. Well, Susie, what do you do in your leisure time activities?
There's not much leisure time to be found. First of all, the job is very demanding, so I spend a lot of time there. But I do balance my work and my personal life very well.
Okay.
But personal life is, I'm married and I have 3 children, so
Keep you busy.
it's pretty busy, yes. And then I'm one who likes to sleep 8 to 9 hours, so that takes 24 hours.
She does.
There's no time left.
You need it.
I need it, yes, yeah.
You traveled to India very much?
Yes, I do actually. In fact, in the last 24 months, I have gone back 3 times.
Oh.
And one was actually we took a family trip, and it's something that was long-awaited trip for the entire family to go. So that's one of my most enjoyable things, traveling with my family.
Many changes there since you left?
Oh yeah, a lot of changes. I mean, I'll tell you a quick story that when I was growing up, we were not allowed to ride bikes. Girls were not allowed to ride bikes. So I still don't know how to ride a bike. Okay. And I'm on TV and telling them I don't know how to ride a bike. I intend to learn someday. I do. It's on my bucket list. But now when I go back and I see women riding scooters and bikes, I'm very proud to see that.
That is great.
Yes, it has made a considerable amount of change. The Western culture definitely have had an influence on the culture in India, and it's better for it. And
the advent of computer technology in the operation of the Park District. Tell us how.
We're very much advanced in technology. We put a lot of emphasis on making sure that we keep up with the up-to-date technology, because that is what our residents expect from the Park District. Right. Because they use it and they would want to make sure that we have that too. So we do put quite a bit of money into the infrastructure of developing our IT systems and such. And in fact, we just changed our recreation software and also our financial software in the last 2 years to upgrade it. And our website is being redeveloped right now. I think it is the 3rd or the 4th time that we're revamping it. So we are always keeping up to date with it.
It changes.
It changes rapidly, and you just have to keep up with it in order to.
One system is almost time to get another one.
Exactly.
Oh, Lisa, how is? Well, first of all, your leisure time. Do you
My
have
leisure
any?
time? Yeah, I do.
She's single, so.
Well, let's see it one more time. I live what I preach. I believe in recreating. I actually, I advocate for that. So, I work out actually at the Gurnee Park District Fitness Center. You can see me there most mornings. This morning I was there at 5:45. It kills
Won't
her.
see me there.
Yeah, I don't.
Won't see me
I
there.
don't sleep 8 hours. I play volleyball. I still coach. I'm coaching right now this great group of 8th grade. They're 8th grade girls now in travel basketball. So I still do that a couple times a week. So, and I love the outdoors. I mean, you can kayaking or snowmobiling or ATVing. If my friend has a beautiful place up north that I am so lucky that she lets me go, and that's the place I go to, and I just, all the stress goes off, and you know, I do walking and water skiing and things like that. So,
was the director of the how has computer technology changed? Or
yeah, it's the same thing. I mean, we are very. I mean, we have to be computer-driven. Online registration, so people don't have to come and wait in lines to register, is a big movement within the last 5 years for all Park and Rec. Our websites, that's how people find out about us. Facebook is a new initiative. We're able to show the community through Facebook. Our postings are picture events, so they see it right away, and so they get to see the smiles on the faces when we have a great special event or something like that. So I think social media is really helped Park District kind of toot their own horns and show what we have to offer to the community better than we ever have been before.
Donna, do you have any leisure time activities?
Those who know me, well, I will say no, because I do not know how to say no. So I went from Gurnee Days to now I'm working on World Communion Sunday, which is a big event that's in its 4th annual production. And that's the first Sunday in October. And then I'm working with the Community Action Project of Waukegan. They're having a big musical at the end of October to help raise funds from the money they lost from the budget cuts. When I can, I'd like to do some traveling, but I think I'm a workaholic because I go from one thing to the next.
I think we all are. I think
If you want something organized, call Donna.
Well, Donna's got her shameless plugs in, so.
Yeah, she does.
And she won't say no, so we can call
won't say
her.
No, you're as bad as me, I think. I think so.
I think all of us, and that's, again, something that you find in people that are very involved in their community is that if you want something done, ask a busy person.
Exactly.
Because we always figure it out.
And we know how to twist other people's arms just the right way to get them to help us. So.
Well, I have to lean on again, Mayor, the growth of Gurnee business-wise. I noticed at one time the automobile businesses were flourishing. It came to Gurnee, and I guess that maybe before your time, maybe, or since you've been there.
Yeah, a lot of the our retail corridor was established before I became mayor. You know, it was kind of the vision of Mayor Dick Welton.
Oh, yes.
And he really set it up, and he really negotiated a lot of that, and then it got built, and so now I like to think of myself as a steward. The village does not have a property tax.
Oh, okay.
So the village does not assess a property tax, so we rely on sales tax and amusement tax, food and beverage tax, and hotel tax. So I have to make sure that our business community thrives to fund the public services. We have excellent, exceptional public services, but it's all funded by consumer spending. So that's, you know, that's quite the challenge. You know, consumers' whims change. They decide to shop somewhere else. So we have to give them a reason to keep shopping here, and by creating a safe environment, having great infrastructure, and you do get some turnover. You know, we've got a lot of new stores that have opened up in the last year and a half. Some of our existing stores, most of them have expanded and remodeled. They have a fresh look. So we want to make sure nothing stays stagnant. And we're always looking for new businesses. I send a lot of letters, or I visit other communities, and I say, wow, that'd be a great fit in Gurnee.
Like Portillo's? Like Portillo's would be a great fit, don't you think?
I know. Portillo's we're actually working on really hard right now.
Let's do that shameless plug.
Portillo's is probably the #1 request I've had since the day. In fact, it's the only thing left on my bucket list.
Really?
So when we get to Portillo's, I can relax.
You can relax.
But yeah,
Put your feet up.
everybody wants a Portillo's, so I think that would be very successful. But yeah, I mean, we got a Chick-fil-A coming. You know, new stores always opening at Gurnee
You
Mills.
have to keep growing, otherwise.
You have to change. You can't just stay stagnant. You got to grow. You got to evolve. You got to emerge. And so that very closely mirrors kind of what our goals are for the community, which is, you know, engage, preserve, and attract. So
You mentioned attractive. A location plays a great part too. Are you
well,
right near the
we do have a full interchange there with the tollway. We're exactly halfway between O'Hare and Milwaukee Airport.
Okay.
It's very convenient to get to. We draw from all 4, you know, geographically we pull from the north, south, east, and west. So yeah, location, which a lot of that was Mayor Welton's vision for that intersection, because the community really was right there along the river
Yeah.
years ago. They did a referendum to even decide if they wanted Six Flags Great America in the community. That was done by referendum by then residents. Yeah, it was a non-binding referendum. Should Gurnee allow Six Flags to come in and build this amusement park? And right after that, you know, there was a truck stop that wanted to build there where Gurnee Mills is now, and Mayor Welton was like, "Nah, I think we can do better than a truck stop." Thank God.
We sure did.
Sure did.
But yeah, it's so yeah. But you know, you want to make sure that 20 years from now, that your community's still viable and it's still vital. So that's a partnership with the Park District and the schools and the library and the village. So
Thinking out
always,
of the box.
yeah, the wheels are always going up there.
Yeah.
Right. What about Dick Welton? How many years was he?
28 years.
28 years.
28 years, and besides mayor, he was the catalyst behind the Central Lake County Joint Water Action Agency, which is where it's kind of a consortium of 14 communities that built the original water plant, and we pipe in water and treat it and distribute it. He was also the catalyst behind Stormwater Management Agency, which is very important. You know, for one, it mitigates flooding, but you know, preserve natural resources and take care of our rivers and wetlands and streams and that. So yeah, for back in the 70s and 80s, to have that vision, I'm very impressed. And I always tell him, he's the mayor. He will always be the mayor.
You have any desires of being there 28 years? Though?
No. No. You know what? The job's much bigger. Dick and I talk about this a lot. It's much bigger, a lot more demanding. I mean, it really can wear you down. I mean, Donna knows what my schedule's like. Luckily, I like to be busy and I have a lot of energy, but yeah, it takes a lot. And you need change. Change is good.
Okay.
I'm not afraid of it. I'm not done yet.
Okay.
Yeah, I'm not going to go 28 years, no. Are you going to be 28 years at the Park District?
Yeah,
Well,
maybe.
it could happen, I think, because it's already, what, 16?
16 years,
16
yeah.
or
Yeah.
no?
This
That
has
happens.
been
Well,
a
that's
fast
possible.
58 minutes, and I want to thank all of you.
Thank you.
Ladies and gentlemen, again, we've been talking with Mayor Christina M. Kavorik. She's the third-term mayor, Village of Gurnee, and not through yet.
Not through yet.
Susie Currievilla.
Yep.
All right, Executive Director, Gurnee Park District. Lisa Shepard, 2013 Gurnee Days honoree.
Yes.
She's the Executive Director of the Glencoe Park District, formerly Gurnee Park District, Superintendent of Recreation.
Yes.
And our anchor person, again, Donna Dallas, Mayor's Assistant Deputy Clerk, 2013 Gurnee Days President, and she keeps the Village of Gurnee going. This has been Community Forum. My name is Dr. Waddell Brooks Sr., your host.
Thank you.